For a bit of housekeeping, we're going to start with remarks from participants on the stage, and then we will take questions from media here in the room. Once the media Q&A wraps, Ryan, Ashley, and Commissioner Bettman will do a series of posed photos, one with themselves and then one with a series of select guests here on stage. With that, I will turn things over to you, Ryan. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, CK, and happy 40th birthday yesterday. You are a legend. We're so blessed to have you. I just want to thank everyone for coming. This has truly been an incredible journey, incredible moment, and I just look out here and it's some phase of this process like we have been working with pretty much every single person in this room, so it's pretty special. I think for Ash and I, like honestly, I don't know that you can choose your passions and all of them in life. Some of them find you, and you know, for us, and they can really kind of turn into part of your life's mission. And for us, that's, if I look over the last 5 years and even before, it's really been Utah and building Utah, along with, as I look out, many of the other people here where their life's mission's really been building Utah, and we live in such an amazing state, an amazing place, and part of that building process is both internal and external. And from an internal standpoint, it's all the work that we're doing in bringing our Utahns together. It's building infrastructure around here, and there's a lot of people in Utah that are working on that, and it's humbling to be a part of that, and sports really magnifies that and brings that together. There's an external component as well, which I think is very much one of kind of what is that Utah experience? What is it for people who haven't experienced what we think is so amazing in this state and what makes it so unique? And if I think about the last 13 months, we've had a chance to kind of show a new audience, a new world, an entirely new community, like how we roll. And I think we were, what has it been, 54 weeks since we sat down, Gary, and you know, I don't know how many more of these press conferences we're going to have together, but it seems like we're kind of towards the end of this. But
no, we can keep going.
Yeah, we will. When we etch Utah Mammoth and Lord Stanley's Cup, that'll be a good one. But I think if I look back 54 weeks ago, we did a deal on a handshake because we didn't have signed documents. You trusted, and I've always heard trust is the ultimate currency. You trusted our community. You trusted our leaders, and you trusted our fan base that we wouldn't have an arena issue. And I'm looking at Mayor Wilson, Mayor Mendenhall, Governor, Speaker, like, you did what you said you were going to do, and our commitment to you. You trusted that we could get a practice facility built. You trusted that we could play in 6 months. You trusted very begrudgingly that we were going to turn our identity over to the entire state of Utah to vote on this, which at multiple points, including the final one where we said we were going to actually show logos to people, I could see you and Brian's eyes go, you are not going to do this. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And, you know, with nearly 1 million people opining on creative design, which seems like an absolute disaster, you said, all right, we're going to roll with this. And so I think, first of all, thank you so much for trusting our community in Utah, because that is something that I'll never forget. And I think if there's something that we hope came out of the way we roll in Utah, it's that we do what we say we're going to do. But there's one thing that we haven't really had to trust. It's something that we knew, and those in Utah know it, that Utah shows up. And I think Utah has shown up at every single part of this process. And so, look, we couldn't be more excited. We're humbled from Ash and I. This is our mission to continue to help build. These marks are representation, and they will be iconic out in the world for those who have never experienced us. There's Easter eggs about Utah buried in all of them, if you can see that. And Tuss Up is really a rallying cry. I mean, it's already been used by over 10,000 different times, and it's going to be how we're known. And this whole thing's come together, but this entire identity has been chosen by our community. And I don't think people thought we would actually go for it, but we did, and we landed in the spot that we're pretty excited about, and we know that the community wanted because they chose it. And that's what this whole experience is about. You're up, baby.
I can't even articulate how exhilarating this last year has been. And I think we are equally surprised and not surprised. Surprised because we had no idea how much fun hockey is. It is so fun. But not surprised because, like Ryan said, Utah shows up. And from the second we announced the franchise to the players landing at the airport and bombarding the airport and filling this arena when we welcomed the team, and then game after game, win or loss, like the energy was so exhilarating and a lot of fun to be a part of. And it's just, it kind of is the icing on the cake that those same fans chose the Mammoth. And we are excited, and Utah should be proud because we get to go build a culture around this strong identity. I'm just excited. I'm excited. But one of my favorite things has been in the last year, all the kids that I've heard stories about, all these youth lacing up skates, getting on the ice. We've gotten over 10,000 kids on the ice between camps and clinics. And it's really motivating as we want to go build rinks and infrastructure to have an incredible youth program. And this year has really motivated that, and we're excited for that. I think seeing the youth fans show up with the crazed adults, like against the glass and broccoli heads on and chanting veggie, and it is so much fun. And the kids have just been a really delightful side of it. So I'm excited for where this youth program can go. And I just want to give a shout out to the SEG team. We are surrounded, this team, very emotional because we're surrounded by incredible humans who execute, who show up, who are creative, who believe that we can do things that feel like they can't be done. Like the amount of execution that's happened in the last year is remarkable. So we are just super grateful to be a part of such an epic team. And we are all together at SEG and in Utah on our same goals that we started with. We're gonna bring a Stanley Cup to Utah. We want to do good in the state of Utah with this platform. We want to unite Utah around the Mammoth and around the Jazz. And we want to create the best fan experience in all of sports. And those are our same goals that we've always had and we will continue to have. And the momentum from this inaugural season is incredible. And now we have the momentum of this identity that we all get to embrace and that you chose. And Tusk's up, I'm excited. So, Commissioner, every time you're here, it's very exciting. And like Ryan said, next time, Stanley Cup.
It would be my pleasure. First of all,
Thanks for number 4.
well, we'll get to that in a second. Good things happen to good people. And luck and skill and execution and vision and passion have always been on your agenda, and it's great to see good things happen to good people, and the two of you and this entire community. As I sit here, I'm having a bit of a deja vu moment in a good way, because every time I come here, and it's now been at least 3 times in the last 54 weeks, we're celebrating, and celebrations are fun. It's what makes life great. Although I will say, following the two of you speaking, it's hard to equal your level of passion and energy. So I'll have to raise my game. First of all, thank you to the governor, to the mayors, to the members of the legislature at every level. This has been the total team effort. And yes, we trusted all of you, particularly you two, but you had to trust us. And we did an awful lot on a handshake. But to think in 54 weeks, we did a transaction largely on a handshake that nobody had ever done before, that you figured out how to get the team up and running in a matter of weeks, not really a lot of months, that you got a practice facility on a temporary basis set up and then figured out how to start building a permanent one. And we took a tour a little while ago, what you're doing to this arena and what you're ultimately going to be doing to this whole downtown area is nothing short of transformative and generational. You have the ability, both of you, to have incredible vision, to motivate people, and to execute beyond anybody's expectations. There's a quote, and I think it was Thomas Edison, but I'm not 100% sure, that says, vision without execution is nothing more than a hallucination. While watching all this, I feel like I'm hallucinating. You are executing beyond our wildest imagination. And for that, not only did we trust you, you did more than we ever could have expected, and we're grateful for that. Now, for the community, weighing in on the treatment of a team's identity, yeah, we thought it was crazy, but we do crazy pretty good. Whether or not it's playing outdoor games, which we're going to do next season, 2 of them in Florida, or conducting a lottery where you moved up 10 spots. We'll have one here too, not to worry, we've already done a site visit. We trusted you to trust the people of this community, as we did with everything that had to be executed, to come up with something that was fabulous. And you both had mentioned it, having 10,000 children already participating in a game that we think not only creates fans, but brings people together as a community, but for young people, gives them life skills, whether it's leadership, teamwork, discipline, education, which is what we believe hockey's values are. And our values and the values in Utah coincide so spectacularly. We're on the same page. So it's not a surprise that the first year has been almost mind-blowing in terms of how successful Utah and you and everybody at SCG has been. This has been the ultimate team effort for the ultimate team sport. And while you may be thrilled to have us, we're thrilled to be part of Utah and are grateful. Everything, you're going to groan with what I'm about to say, but it just popped into my head. Everything you've tried to do and everything you've done has been a mammoth undertaking. Go ahead, you can groan. But at the end of the day, being part of a community and making a difference in the quality of life here and transforming downtown, not just for the next few years, not just for the Olympics, but generationally, is a testament to your vision and everything you and your people accomplished. We are grateful to be here, and congratulations on what we think is a spectacular name, logo, and treatment. It's all good. And when you win the Stanley Cup, I hope I'm still doing this to present it.
Thank you, Ryan, Ashley, and Commissioner. We will now open it up to the media Q&A. Please raise your hand and identify which outlet you're with and who your question is for. We will do our best to get to everyone. Who'd like to kick us off?
No questions are okay, too.
Does anyone have a question to start? Oh, yeah, we have mics. Just raise your hand so we can see them. Thank you.
Cole Baggy with KSL Sports. Ryan, Ashley, congratulations on this incredible announcement. Ryan, I'm just curious, what has been your favorite part of this process, from the team arriving to now having an official name?
First I probably ought to thank Qualtrics for actually aggregating everything and doing the work. It's a little, it was a big task, especially from being able to go around in the arena. I think the arena part, when we finally got down to the final couple, it was interesting. My favorite part was our fans made it very easy for us. Every single night we were doing the voting, Mammoth just started running away with it. And the momentum, it was like, if it was horse racing, because I just watched the Kentucky Derby, it was like pulling away. And for us, it was like, that's it. And I think every single person around the table went through it. The process I probably wouldn't recommend, again, not because I don't believe in the voting of nearly 1 million people, but it's changed a little where AIs, it's not like they're just voting with their number or their words, they're now voting with images that are no designer could ever develop. But I actually think we leaned into that and we actually came up with something really cool. And probably lastly is we uncovered a little bit of the Mammoth history in this state. It was daunting of how close and tight, and whether it was Lake Bonneville or Fairview, Utah, or Lake Powell, and the size of the Mammoth and how fast they go. It became this really cool thing, and then it just catapulted with, Tuss Up. Tomorrow you'll be able to hashtag Tuss Up and the Mammoth shows up next to it. It's all kind of fallen into place, as well as the color scheme I think we really like, and it plays well. So a lot of learning. The team together, you've got a team of 12 or 10 people who probably all had their own vision of what they wanted to do with this identity. And magic happens sometimes when we get the picture of our head that's in our head and we erase it and we just go. Because you end up in a different spot than I think everyone thought they would be, and that's what happened. So it's a long answer.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Catherine Bogart, UtahMammoth.com. Ashley, for you, the community has been a huge part of SCG from the start, and this is the second Big Four team within the family. What excites you the most about the impact you guys can have in the community besides the 10,000 kids who have already signed up for hockey?
Youth is such a big part of what we want to do with the foundation, and I think how successful Junior Jazz has been, and having my own children, and having all of these athletes that they get to look up to, and that my boys are watching these players, right? And so to then get to see them do awesome, cool things that make our state better, and to be externally focused, that influence on youth is immeasurable, and that is changing the future of our state. So I think that for me is definitely the most exciting thing. I want my boys to watch every move of these players because they are doing such cool things and they are using the platform for good and they're changing lives. It's awesome.
Brogan Houston from Deseret News over here. I have two questions, if I may. Gary, first for you. You mentioned an NHL outdoor game rather in Utah. Would you mind expounding on that?
I believe that we can pull all the things together that need to be pulled together, and just up the road a little bit, there's a nice stadium, and we have to schedule these things a little bit in advance, but it's on our radar.
Awesome. And then just secondly, for any of the three of you, what has surprised you most about this process?
I actually think there was a point where I realized that no matter what identity was chosen, it was going to be insane because Utah does things right. And so I knew whatever the fans decided would be right. And then I knew that SEG would pull it off. So there was just this point where it was just exciting of it doesn't matter how this lands. It's going to be incredible, and I'm going to get excited about it, and the whole state's going to get excited about it. That for me was the best, like a really good moment that I remember vividly, yeah.
Okay, over here, Kim Becker with the Utah Mammoth broadcast, which is really fun to say. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Ashley, this one's for you. You met with the players before the news broke publicly this morning. Can you just talk about their reaction a little bit?
You were getting ready. I was downstairs.
I was getting ready, but I did. Ryan came upstairs, and I said, like, so they all know? Yes, yes. And the first thing that happened when I came in here is I was talking with someone, and they said the players are all posting about the new identity, and I just think everyone, it's that same energy I was just talking about, like everyone can feel it. And watching that video, I mean, if we are not all just total Mammoth fans, right? If we were given the vote again right now, no matter what everyone previously voted in this room, you would vote Mammoth. And so I think we're all feeling like that in this room. It's exciting.
Sarah Merrifield with Utah Mammoth broadcast as well. Ryan, this one's for you. As far as the logo goes, I know you mentioned the history with the Mammoth, but how important was it for you to keep the identity of Utah with those Easter eggs of the logo and what that stands for in this community?
Yeah, I think there's a couple cool things. If you look at the mountain range, it's something that we've also got on the Jazz jerseys. We've got our new white jersey coming out where on every single jersey, it's that mountain range that we authentically own in the state of Utah. No one owns that, right? And then I think if you look at, there's a bunch of others, but you can see the state, right? I'll do it right here, but just that's our Utah state with an M in it. And there's a bunch more that our designers can like talk through on like how it works. But I think it's cool. It's something that we'll remember, and it's just part of the process and the evolution. So I like it. And I think if you look at the mark, I mean, if you remember on the video, like when that mark was coming up and flashing through everything, and we've looked at it with all the other logos, and there's some iconic hockey marks. This is very much, it will be iconic. I mean, that on a hat, that you'll see it. It'll become really cool. Also, it allows us to continue and not lose the ground kind of that we've already won with Utah. And we love that Utah is on the forefront of everything. And so ideally, Utah and the mark, and, it's really cool. And then you add Tuss-Up to it. It's how we identify ourselves with each other. If you see someone else from Utah, like, we hope you're saying that. I mean, it's a little Roll Tide-esque, but like, that's fine.
And I'm just going to add that having its own identity, the Mammoth, is so meaningful. And then to have a connection, whether the mountain or the blue with the Jazz, like we get to unify around the Mammoth, we get to unify around the Jazz, and now we get to unify around our sports teams. And it's just like, who doesn't want to be a part of that? Like that is bringing us together in this world that's just divisive on every other level. So I personally love like the things that cross over, but I also love its own identity in itself.
Brian Carlson, KSL. I guess I can start over here. Now that we got a name and a logo, have you talked about the mascot yet? What's that going to look like?
That's where I stopped. I know there's a company
How athletic are you?
I know there's a company bringing back the woolly mammoth, so I don't know how that's going to show up living in the Delta Center. But no, I think there's a million ways we can go. There was a bunch of people who were dressed up last year. I'm not sure like how we're going to take that, but I'll leave that up to the group. There's a bunch of fun ideas around what we're going to call the mascot and like how it's all going to go, but there's a little bit left.
Jake Hatch, KSL Sports. This is for right here. Commissioner Bettman or for you, Ryan, in terms of the revamp of this building itself, how much work has gone into that alongside this logo and the rebrand?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have enough safety equipment for everyone to go back there, but it's gnarly.
It's unbelievable, actually.
Yeah.
This organization's ability to multitask is actually off the charts, because we were back there, as I said, half hour ago, the construction, the vision, what the architects came up with. I mean, the fact that they're under construction and it's been less than a year, and what they had to design was actually unique, revolutionary, very specific to this building, making sure that the building had the right sight lines for both hockey and basketball, and making sure the building was intimate. That's no easy task. In fact, I don't know that anybody's ever been able to do it as well as this building is going to be doing it. And the fact that they did that, a temporary practice facility, a permanent practice facility, the logo, get the team up and running, having the creation of a new fan base and ticket sales and season tickets and merchandising and sponsors and advertising. It is unbelievable what they have been able to accomplish. Sports is supposed to bring people together, and I believe it does. And sports is supposed to be something you can have fun with, whether you're a fan or whether or not you're a community or whether or not you're owners. And you've made this into an art form, and you deserve incredible kudos for something that most people not only couldn't envision doing, but could never execute the way you are. So
Well,
thank you
and
for
we have
that.
players. I mean, we got Lowry, we got Ollie, we got Gunther, Colsey, we got you all locked up. Let's go. Boehner's next. like we got a lot of work to do on the ice and on the court and everything else. But look, it's crazy in there. Like, if you think about what we're trying to do, most of the time in a hockey, and you've been to some of these where it's hockey first, like, they take it out, and then what they'll do is they'll pull it in for hoops. And if you're behind the goals or the baskets, it's almost seating like this. And one of the beauties of Delta Center is we're on top of each other. It is intimate. It is loud. And we didn't want to lose that. And so we've had to rely on technology that, I mean, honestly wasn't available 30 years ago, and really push to create something where we can flex in and out without losing the intimacy of Delta Center that we always like. And so it's a feat. Jim Olson, the team, it's incredible. And at the same time, we're standing up Southtown, which will be another sports hub that kind of bookends our valley, which we're excited about.
Technology that didn't exist 30 years ago, it didn't exist a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you're inventing it, which is incredible.
Scary and good.
Yeah. No, it's scary good.
Well, with that, we are going to wrap up the media Q&A. Ryan, Ashley, and the commissioner will stay center stage to take a few photos, and we will follow it by a series of photos. If everyone could just stay seated for a minute, but thank you again very much for joining us. Ryan, Ashley, Commissioner, thank you.